So, today we're jumping into a story that kicks off with this incredible dream of freedom. But, it ends with the sound of new chains being locked. We're going to break down the birth and the betrayal of a revolution, all told in just the first 5 chapters of George Orwell's timeless classic, Animal Farm. So our story starts on a place called Manor Farm. And let me tell you, it's not a happy place. It's run down, neglected, all thanks to its owner, Mr. Jones. For the animals, life is just, well, it's miserable, laborious, and short, just like old Major says. They work their whole lives, and for what? To be slaughtered when they're no longer useful. But it's right here in all this misery that the first little spark of a revolutionary idea is lit.
All right, so this first part of the story, it's really all about the dream of rebellion. It's amazing, really, how one single powerful speech can plant the seeds for a complete and total upheaval, and, the dream of what could come next. Okay, so this prize-winning boar, Old Major, he gathers everyone in the barn, and he lays out this really simple but powerful idea that the other pigs eventually call animalism. His diagnosis is crystal clear. Man is the enemy. Think about it, he says. Man is the only creature that consumes without producing anything. He's a parasite, the root of all their problems. So what's the solution? It's simple. Get rid of man, and life for the animals will be amazing. They'll be rich and free.
And to really give this dream a voice, something they can rally around, Old Major teaches them a song from way back, Beasts of England. And wow, is it a powerful anthem. It paints this incredible picture of a golden future time, a world with no whips, no harnesses, no humans. I mean, the song just spreads like wildfire. And for the very first time, all these animals have a single shared vision of hope. But here's the thing about dreams. This one doesn't stay a dream for very long. We're moving from Manor Farm to Animal Farm. In this next part of the story, all those songs and speeches, they just ignite. And suddenly, it's a shocking new reality. The rebellion? It happens way sooner than anyone could have guessed. So sadly, Old Major dies just a few days after his big speech. But the pigs, especially the brilliant Snowball and the imposing Napoleon, they take his ideas and start to secretly organize. But get this, the revolution isn't some big planned-out event. It's totally spontaneous. It all comes down to Mr. Jones getting drunk and forgetting to feed them. For a whole day, the animals are starving, they break into the food shed, and when Jones and his men come out with whips, the animals have had enough. They just snap. They fight back with everything they've got and literally chase every single human right off the farm. And the feeling after? It's just pure euphoria. The animals can't even believe what they've done. They go on this rampage, destroying everything that reminds them of their slavery. Whips, nose rings, chains, you name it. And then comes this incredibly powerful moment. Snowball climbs a ladder, and he paints right over the old name. Manor Farm is gone. It's a new day. It's Animal Farm now. Okay, so to make this new society official, the pigs boil down animalism into 7 commandments. They paint them in these huge white letters on the side of the barn, and they're meant to be this unalterable law that will last forever. I mean, this is it. These are the highest ideals of the revolution, the promise of a brand new world. You're going to want to keep these in mind as we go, especially that last one. It's the most important of all. All animals are equal. So, the new society is up and running, but it gets tested right away. And even though the animals pull off this amazing victory against their old master, we start to see the first, let's call them cracks, the first subtle signs that maybe, just maybe, not everything is as equal as it seems. Of course, Jones doesn't just give up. Nope. He comes back with a bunch of men trying to take back his farm. This whole thing goes down in what they call the Battle of the Cowshed. But the animals are ready for him. Snowball, who turns out to be a brilliant military strategist, has this whole ambush planned. It's a furious, chaotic battle, but in the end, the animals win again, driving the humans away. It's a huge victory that really cements their control. So, yeah, they proved they could beat the humans. They could handle the enemy outside the gate. But was that the real enemy? Or was the real threat actually inside? With Jones out of the picture, you start to see the power dynamics on the farm itself begin to shift. And, frankly, it's pretty ominous. And what's so wild is how small these first steps toward tyranny really are. I mean, it's subtle. On the very first day of the rebellion, the fresh milk from the cows, it just disappears. Then a little later, the pigs announce that all the windfall apples are for them and them alone. And maybe the most chilling part, Napoleon takes 9 newborn puppies from their mother, saying he's going to take personal responsibility for their education. See,
These are the first tiny but very real cracks in that promise of equality.
So you're probably asking, how did they get away with this? Well, they have a secret weapon, a pig named Squealer. He's an absolutely brilliant propagandist. He gets up and explains to the other animals that the pigs need the milk and apples. Why? Because they're the brain workers. It's for their health. And here's the genius part. He frames their special privilege as a sacrifice they're making for everyone else's sake. And then he drops the bomb. He plays the fear card. Surely, he says, none of you want to see Jones come back. And just like that, argument over. It's a masterclass in manipulation.
So with this growing inequality, it was only a matter of time before it blew up into a full-on power struggle. The whole future of the farm now comes down to a bitter rivalry between the two smartest pigs in the room.
You've got these two leaders with two totally different visions. On one side, you have Snowball. He's the visionary, the big ideas guy. He wants to build this massive windmill to generate electricity, which would mean less work for everyone, like a 3-day work week. On the other side is Napoleon. He's all about pragmatism. Forget the fancy windmill, he says. We need to focus on food production now. He just wants a full manger. They even disagree on defense. Snowball wants to stir up rebellions on other farms, while Napoleon thinks they should get firearms and train. In debates, Snowball's amazing. He wins everyone over with his speeches. But Napoleon, he's quieter. He works behind the scenes, canvassing for support, and he even uses a flock of sheep to interrupt Snowball's speeches. It's a total clash of styles.
Yeah, this conflict just can't last. Something's got to give. And it all comes to a head over the windmill project. This is the moment where debate on Animal Farm dies and brute force takes over.
All right, this is it, the day of the big vote. The animals are all gathered to finally decide, are we building the windmill or not? I mean, the entire future of the farm hangs on this one decision.
Napoleon gets up first, gives a really short, kind of pathetic speech against it. But then, Snowball takes the floor, and he is on fire. He paints this absolutely breathtaking picture of what Animal Farm could be. Modern, comfortable, easy, all thanks to electricity. His vision is so powerful, so compelling, he has them. The crowd is completely won over. It's obvious how the vote is going to go. But just as they're about to vote, Napoleon stands up. He's been staring at Snowball this whole time with this really weird look on his face. And then he lets out this strange, high-pitched whimper. It's a sound nobody's ever heard him make before. And it's a signal. Out of nowhere, 9 enormous dogs, those puppies Napoleon educated, come tearing into the barn, and they are heading straight for Snowball. It's just chaos and terror. The animals are frozen watching these massive dogs chase Snowball across the fields. He's literally running for his life. He just barely escapes, slipping through a hedge at the last second. And then, he's gone, vanished, never to be seen on the farm again. And with him, any hope of open debate is gone, too. With Snowball gone, Napoleon doesn't waste a single second. He immediately lays down the new law. The old way, Sunday meetings, open debates, voting, gone. The new way, no more meetings, no more debates. All decisions will be made by a special committee of pigs, chaired by Napoleon, of course. From now on, the other animals just show up on Sunday mornings to get their orders for the week. That's it. And guess who gets sent out to spin this whole thing? Good old Squealer. He explains to everyone that what Napoleon did wasn't a power grab. Oh no, he's taken on this deep and heavy responsibility, this extra labor, all as a sacrifice for them. Can you believe it? He tells them that they, the common animals, might make the wrong decisions. He's protecting them from themselves. It's a classic move, selling a dictatorship as a favor. And so that's where we are, at this absolutely critical turning point. The revolution, which started with this beautiful dream of freedom and equality, has now ended up with the new tyrant in charge, one who's way more cunning than the last. The ideals of animalism, they're basically dead, replaced by the growl of a dog, which leaves us with a really chilling question to think about. With debate silenced and a new tyrant in charge, what happens to the dream of Animal Farm?